going to continue to fight until we really see dignity for all migrants.
Tonight, people all across the West are using Labor Day as a call to action. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. From President Trump's immigration crackdown to workers' rights, demonstrators focused on a variety of issues on this Labor Day holiday. Today, protesters across the West joined with groups across the country to voice their frustrations and demand change. Fox 13's Alejandra Guzman spoke with some of the hundreds of protesters who gathered outside of an ICE detention facility in Tacoma. They say the people being held there are facing inhumane conditions.
Labor Day is historically dedicated to honoring workers' rights, yet today I can tell you that many chose to spend it differently. We're talking about more than 850 people who caravanned up from Portland, Oregon to show up for those who are currently being detained inside the Northwest ICE Processing Detention Facility in Tacoma. These folks who came out are here to draw attention and rally for systemic changes to the U.S.'s immigration policy. They're from the International Migrant Alliance, Tango el Migrante, La Resistencia, and several other grassroots organizations who they say are here opposing the treatment migrants are facing inside the detention center, not just here, but across the country. They shared with me a grim picture of those conditions, including raw food, undercooked, and sometimes even filled with maggots, along with a lack and neglect of medical or even access to treatment. They say sometimes their requests are met weeks later with ibuprofen or Tylenol, but they say it goes far beyond that.
They're not giving people due process, the full court proceedings that they need, either to get out of detention or out of deportation proceedings. But even when they are, several, like Kuya Max here, was released. He's here with his union and community members who've helped him to get out of detention, but he was unjustly detained, and so many more are facing that unjust detention.
What you're hearing isn't just a day of protest. It's a continuation of a broader resistance movement. They say the detention of migrants, asylum seekers, even those with legal status, is intensifying across the country as the Trump administration aims to deport as many as they possibly can. They say right now, families of mixed status are especially fearful, yet they're prepared to fight if and when troops are deployed to sanctuary cities, as the White House has repeatedly mentioned.
We heard about the National Guard being deployed to cities like Portland, like Seattle, and we are getting ready to fight back because, again, it's not just about us feeling that we have to stand by and watch and be fearful, but that the more that we come together, the more that we fight, the more that we unite, that we will be able to change the situation.
Despite the walls and fences separating demonstrators from those currently being detained, they say their message is being heard loud and clear, and it helps motivate those who are detained to keep pushing through and fighting the conditions they're facing. They say that more rallies and demonstrations are planned for those who are still trying to fight and make their way out. In Tacoma, Alejandra Guzman, back to you.
Managers of the ICE facility in Tacoma say they, quote, strive to provide quality service to people in their custody. They say anyone who has a problem with their operations should file a formal complaint. Tonight, we're getting a look at the likely impact of President Trump's immigration crackdown. The Pew Research Center examined preliminary census data that shows more than 1.2 million immigrants left the labor force from January through the end of July. Pew Research says nearly half of those working in the agriculture industry are immigrants, leaving some farmers unable to harvest crops this summer. About 30% of construction workers are immigrants as well. Union leaders spoke out in Los Angeles today saying they want to stand up for workers, including immigrants.
Let's have health care for everyone. Let's have housing for everyone. And let's make sure, damn well sure, that we have a pathway to citizenship for all the people who are being targeted, not only in this city, but across the country. So I say,
David Huerta organized union members to organize and stand together, while the president of the AFL-CIO was also on hand today telling the crowd the Trump administration has made Southern California ground zero for its attacks on working people. Tonight, authorities near Sacramento say they believe a shooting that left 3 people dead likely stemmed from an attempted robbery. The killings happened yesterday at an apartment complex in Carmichael. Sacramento County Sheriff's deputies say one of the men who died was shot by one of 2 men who was trying to rob him. Authorities believe someone else who lives at that complex then stepped in, shooting and killing the two would-be robbers. One person was taken into custody at the scene. However, that person is not facing a homicide charge. Instead, he is facing a weapons charge. No one tied to this case has been identified so far. Tonight, authorities in Nevada are asking for the public's help to identify a man who was found dead over the weekend at the Burning Man Festival in the Black Rock Desert. Investigators say his body was discovered Saturday in a pool of blood, and his death is being treated as a homicide. Anyone with information on the victim's identity is urged to reach out to authorities in northern Nevada. 3 children who were caught in the middle of a Southern California police chase are expected to survive after that pursuit ended with a serious crash. You see right there. As Fox 11's Gigi Graciette reports tonight, LA County Sheriff's deputies say those kids were abducted when someone carjacked their mother's car.
That's right, and it all started here at this 7-Eleven on the corner of Olympic and Arizona. This is where a mom ran into the store for just a few seconds, leaving the kids inside, when suddenly a man jumped behind the wheel and took off with them. The dad was nearby, tried to stop him, but he couldn't, and the pursuit was on. It was a wild pursuit, erratic driving at high speeds, police following behind, helicopters above. Everyone knowing that inside the car there were 3 little boys, ages 9, 7, and 2. And we're learning a little bit about what was happening inside the car as family members describe the driver as being agitated and aggressive with the children, screaming at the boys, ordering them to throw anything and everything inside the car out the sunroof so they could, quote, lose the cops. The boys not knowing what was happening and were scared to death, said a cousin. The pursuit ending about an hour later in Malibu when this happened. The kidnapper, the carjacker, call him what you want, he T-boned a Lexus at an estimated 90 miles per hour, leaving the children in the car injured and the 65-year-old woman who was behind the wheel of the Lexus also hurt. Making one last attempt to get away, he ran up a hillside but was later arrested. This as the 4 people, those brothers and that innocent woman, were all taken to the hospital. The children's mother saying it was agonizing for her, and the road to recovery for the boys will be a long one, both physically and psychologically. The boys, we understand, are out of the hospital, but again, they are injured, so it will be a long recovery. As for the 65-year-old woman, she was also hospitalized with moderate to serious injuries, we're told. Meanwhile, the suspect, the 35-year-old, he's still in the hospital, and police tell us they haven't positively ID'd him yet. In East Los Angeles, Gigi Graciette.
Newly released video shows sheriff's deputies in New Mexico intentionally crashing into a carjacking suspect in order to end a dangerous pursuit. Deputies chased that truck through Albuquerque last month after getting reports that it had been stolen at gunpoint. And then right there, deputies intentionally rammed the truck, forcing it to spin out and come to a stop. They then took the 41-year-old driver, Matthew Hunter, into custody. Authorities say he's a convicted felon who was on probation at the time, and he's now facing several new felony charges. Authorities in Colorado say it will likely take weeks for them to figure out what caused a deadly midair collision between 2 small planes. Those planes collided yesterday near Fort Morgan Municipal Airport, northeast of Denver. As Fox 31's Shaw Turner reports tonight, 1 person was killed in that crash and 3 others were injured.
Horrific crash, tragic death, and miraculous survival.
Very tragic.
All was quiet at the Fort Morgan Municipal Airport at 10:45 a.m. as a small Cessna made its final approach to the runway. But then another small plane appeared, striking the Cessna. Both planes crashed to the ground.
We don't have a lot of crashes. We have the blow-offs and slide-offs and stuff like that, but we don't have a lot of major crashes.
The Fort Morgan Fire Department quickly responded, extinguishing the fire. Authorities confirmed there were 2 people in each plane. Those in the Cessna sustained minor injuries and were released at the scene. One occupant of the other plane was transported to a local hospital, but a 4th person was pronounced dead after the crash.
We'd like to offer our condolences to the family and the friends of the victim of this tragic event.
The FAA released this video showing weather conditions. The skies seemed clear and high winds were not recorded.
And that was Fox 31's Shaw Turner reporting for us tonight. The victims in that collision have not been identified publicly. Tonight, the NTSB and the FAA are continuing to investigate the crash, and they're expected to issue a report in about a month or so, which will contain the probable cause for that midair collision. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, travelers showing up late to the airport may be able to thank AI for helping them to make their flights in the end. Tonight, how one airline hopes using the technology will benefit procrastinators as well as early birds.
And in weather, here's our live camera looking out toward the Golden Gate Bridge. A bit of a warm to hot day in the San Francisco Bay Area and some changes on the way over the next several days. We'll have the update coming up.
One fireman with our hose.
Also coming up tonight, cameras pick up these dark, smoky images of a man saving a Utah home from a fast-moving wildfire. Tonight, how he was tracked down and met the family who lived there. Customs and Border Protection officials say thousands of counterfeit Labubu dolls worth more than $500,000 were seized by agents in Seattle. The agency released these photos of a fake Labubu doll and cardboard boxes packed with more counterfeit dolls. Labubu dolls are produced by Chinese toy maker Pop Mart, and they have become viral collectibles. Customs and Border Protection thanks Seattle agents on social media, saying, quote, "Fake Labubus are not welcome in America." In Las Vegas, a former Clark County official found guilty of killing a reporter has filed new documents now in his attempt to appeal his conviction. Robert Tellez was convicted last year of the 2022 killing of Jeff Gehrman, a reporter with the Las Vegas Review-Journal. In the documents, Tellez claims a search warrant was mishandled, that he was denied the use of an expert witness, and that he was not notified of a jury note stating the jury was deadlocked. Tellez has maintained his innocence and says he was framed. Tonight, there are no reports of any widespread air travel disruptions over the long Labor Day holiday weekend. This is a live look tonight at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport, one of the airports that's expected to stay busy all throughout the evening. And American Airlines says it is starting to use artificial intelligence at another airport to help travelers running late make their flights. As Fox 10's Kenzie Beach reports, some customers worry this will create a ripple effect of problems.
American Airlines passengers with close connections here at Sky Harbor are now going to have a little more leeway, but passengers on non-stop flights are a little hesitant on just how much.
I don't know if that's okay to do that for the entire plane.
American Airlines will now delay flights for passengers that would instead just miss their connecting flights through Sky Harbor by minutes.
Yeah, definitely stressful. And if we took our bags too.
It's a relief for some travelers, but others fear the ripple effect.
Wouldn't have to stress about missing my next flight, so that'd be good.
Chaos for the entire airport that they're at, and then the airport that's receiving the flights.
American Airlines' new short hold is no longer the gate agent's decision, but the new tech system has automatic authorization. The plane will wait on average 10 minutes or less. American Airlines says this will not disrupt all travel, but passengers fear further delays.
I think it comes down to the general population, right? You got an entire plane of hundreds of people, and then you're holding the plane for even if it's a big group of 10, 9, 8, I mean, that's still, come on now, guys.
Connecting passengers will be alerted in the American Airlines app that their next flight is waiting for them.
Everybody's on their phone, so me, for example, my boarding pass and everything is on their phone, so it's just easier.
American Airlines tells Fox 10 this will be handled on a case-by-case basis. The AI technology was first rolled out at Dallas-Fort Worth Airport and has now made its way to Sky Harbor. In Phoenix, Kenzie Beach, Fox 10 News.
Well, many people across the West are spending their holiday at the beach. Here's a live look tonight at Santa Monica. The pier here packed with people. soaking up the last few hours here of the Labor Day holiday weekend. And of course, this was a perfect chance for many people to escape triple-digit temperatures that many folks are facing, especially in some of those inland communities across California. For more, let's bring in KTVU meteorologist Mark Tamayo, who is tracking the conditions across the West as people start to head back home and head back to work tomorrow. Hey, Mark.
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, the ocean looking so refreshing. Take a look at these warm to hot temperatures kind of from Southern California to Central California and up toward Santa Cruz. You can see Santa Barbara, 81 degrees, Santa Cruz, lower 80s, Huntington Beach, 80 degrees, and Malibu in the 70s, 74. So warm to hot pattern, as you can see, across a good portion of the West. Downtown Los Angeles, 91 degrees, San Francisco, lower 70s, and the heat out toward Sacramento and Redding, triple digits, as you can see, even out toward Fresno, 106 degrees. This was the scene in Seattle today, a mild 71 degrees up in Seattle earlier this afternoon. And then in the Bay Area, you can see some patchy fog making a comeback. You can actually match that to temperature in San Francisco, 71. A bit of some cooling, though, for portions of the Bay Area compared to yesterday. And then in Phoenix, you can see a lot of clouds showing up in this picture, 107 degrees. Those clouds linked up with some thunderstorms actually right now moving over the Phoenix area. As you can see, the current numbers out there, 102 in Las Vegas, out towards San Francisco, 70. Portland, 78, and Seattle has cooled down to 69 degrees. As we show you the bigger picture, the satellite and the radar, there's one circulation here producing some clouds up in the Pacific Northwest. And look at the radar. I'll switch over the radar and look at all this action moving into portions of Arizona. So some downpours here, some thunderstorms in the vicinity of Phoenix, and even in Southern California tomorrow, there's the possibility of some scattered thunderstorms back in their forecast for Tuesday. So here is the game plan for tomorrow. Fair skies, kind of a sun-cloud mix for Seattle. San Francisco has the fog back in the picture. Sunshine out toward Denver. Of course, a hot weather pattern out in the Phoenix area, and the possibility of some thunderstorms, about a 30% chance down in Southern California. Here is the Fox weather model showing you this, and we're going to see this little system kind of flare up across portions of California, producing some showers and thunderstorms. You can see down in Southern California the possibility of some showers. In Phoenix, looks like maybe a sun-cloud mix with, we'll have to keep an eye on those thunderstorms just outside of the area, maybe some more action closer to Las Vegas as well. So here's the game plan. As you can see up in Seattle, a sun-cloud mix. Temperature's not moving around too much. San Francisco, some gradual cooling into Wednesday and Thursday. And then Los Angeles could be a hot, muggy day. And we'll keep an eye on that thunderstorm chance. And of course, we have the triple digits out in the Phoenix area with those readings in the at least 103 to 108 degrees over the next couple days. But an interesting pattern setting up, still talking about some heat and also tracking some shower and thunderstorm chances across parts of the West. Alex.
All right, we'll be tracking all of it. Mark, thank you. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, a Utah family searches for the mystery firefighter seen on video trying to save their home from a wildfire using a garden hose. Their long-awaited meeting with the heroic first responder. Plus, Powerball players have more than 1 billion reasons to dream tonight, how they're feeling ahead of tonight's big drawing.
Buy everyone in my family a house and a vehicle, and then donate a lot to charity.
Oh man, well, I got a big family, so a lot of it's gonna go to them.
1.1 billion.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel?
Man, I don't know. I mean, it's not mine yet. It will be tonight, though.
All right, the power of positive thinking. Powerball players have another shot at becoming a billionaire tonight. The jackpot is up to $1.1 billion. It's the 5th largest prize in the game's history. If a single ticket matches all numbers in tonight's drawing, the winner can choose to take a lump sum of just over $498 million or get the full jackpot paid out in annual installments. Some people buying tickets in the Phoenix area today, already making plans for what to do with the money.
I got a big family, so a lot of it's gonna go to them, for sure. And 1.1 billion, I don't know what I would do with that. Jesus.
Did you know it was that high?
No, I just walked in here, looked at it, and I'm about to win. You know what I mean?
Well, you can buy Powerball tickets in all western states except Hawaii, Alaska, Nevada, and Utah. And the odds of winning are about 1 in 292 million. A Utah family who caught glimpses of a mystery firefighter saving their home with a garden hose has finally been able to tell him how much they appreciate his efforts. Fox 13's Adam Herbitz has more tonight on the long-awaited and emotional meeting.
Gavin and her family were emotional when they saw pictures of the flames from the Willard Peak fire.
Just trying to come to terms with the fact that it's gone, but you know, we're all safe and we have each other.
Time to run out of water, ain't it? Right. I'll hold the hose so it doesn't pull out of the bowl.
But when they turned on the TV, these pictures on Fox 13 gave them hope.
That one, yeah. That one fireman with our hose.
They became obsessed with finding out who is this firefighter. So they asked us for help. The only clue we had was a blurry close-up of a helmet.
The bear emblem on their shirts and hats.
But then a breakthrough. Someone who saw our story recognized the face and voice of Brad Johnson, the Box Elder County fire warden.
I don't even know, my knees buckled at that point. Just miracle upon miracle.
After the fire, it was a tough week for Brad Johnson. See, he lives in Tremonton, and he just lost 2 members of his first responder family. In light of that situation, he chose not to go on camera. He says he's a neighbor, not a hero, and he didn't want to make it about himself. But we were able to connect him with Gavin and her family so they could meet up to share a smile, a hug, and a thank you after everything they've both been through.
He persevered, and he didn't give up. I'm so grateful for his heroism.
When I spoke with the firefighter, his first reaction was simply, I was just doing my job. He also explained that the fire conditions that day changed pretty drastically, which is why he had to give orders to our photographer to help him save that home. Reporting in Ogden, Adam Herbitz, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Incredible work by that firefighter. All right, finally tonight, 2 powerful solar eruptions are now racing toward Earth tonight, triggering alerts from space weather experts. The twin coronal mass ejections launched from the sun over the weekend are expected to reach Earth's atmosphere by tonight, traveling at more than 2 million miles per hour. The impact could produce a dazzling northern lights display with auroras possibly visible much farther south than usual, including into some parts of Oregon, Iowa, and Pennsylvania. Photographers are hoping to capture the moment.
When these high energy particles hit the atmosphere in these big waves, suddenly everything just lights up.
Strong solar activity, though, can also cause its share of issues. It can disrupt satellites, GPS, communications, even power grids. Experts are closely monitoring this situation as a stronger geomagnetic storm could have serious effects on technology, both here on Earth as well as in orbit. But it could potentially put on quite the show for people looking up toward the sky. All right, that does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. And a quick reminder before we go here on this Labor Day, you can stay up to date on all the big stories we're covering for you across the West Coast at our website. It's westcoastwrap.com. And stream our shows on your smart TV. All you have to do is download the free Fox Local app. Have a great night.